Browns and Steelers face some serious quarterback questions. The Browns have a bunch of quarterbacks, but the Steelers are missing one. They are practicing today without Aaron Rodgers. They've got an offer out to him, but no response yet. Longtime backup Mason Rudolph is the main man for now. Skylar Thompson and Will Howard are also on the roster. The J-Man is back because he gets jumpers and gets buckets. NFL front office insider Mike Tannenbaum is with us as well. Mike T, I'm going to come to you first. As of right now, the Steelers' top option at quarterback is Mason Rudolph. He told the media that he is unbothered by the constant noise surrounding Aaron Rodgers and his pending decision to sign with Pittsburgh. But how concerning is the uncertainty surrounding Rodgers?
Massively, Christine, and here's why. These are critical reps that Aaron Rodgers needs, not only with DK Metcalf, but this entire Pittsburgh Steelers offense. They also have a new running back in Caleb Johnson that they drafted, and when you look in the division and you look at Joe Burrow and Lamar Jackson on this graphic, look at all these games that these quarterbacks have played with their starting receivers. So as great as Aaron Rodgers is, and he's a first ballot Hall of Famer, Christine, these are meaningful reps this time of year that he's not getting. Every day he misses is a bad day for the Steelers and a good day for their competition in Baltimore and Cincinnati.
Yeah, and look, this situation, they put themselves in this corner. A couple months ago, Aaron Rodgers met with the New York Giants and said, guys, I'm going to need to take my time. If you have to go at your own timeline, I respect it. You have to make a move, go ahead and do it. Brian Daboll took that news, Joe Shane took that news, and they went and signed not only Russell Wilson, but Jameis Winston, and then drafted a quarterback in the first round. Aaron Rodgers shared the same exact message to the Pittsburgh Steelers, and they nodded their head, and they went back to their offices, and after a 6-hour meeting with the Steelers everyone thought went well, they didn't do anything. They have Mason Rudolph, who has won games for them before and is a well-liked player in that building and is no stranger to that franchise. And then they have Will Howard, a 6th-round pick. But they are in the waiting game for Aaron Rodgers, which is a dangerous place to be, especially when there's no deadline given.
Also, Aaron Rodgers is an older guy. I feel like he needs to ramp up to play in the NFL and not just jump right into things. So TBD on that. Peter, over in Cleveland, the Browns, they have a crowded quarterback room. So when, if at all, do you expect Shedeur Sanders to play in his rookie season?
Hey, look, I'm told that this room has actually been great in the few days they've all been together, but I can't tell you Shedeur is going to be starting at any point. I don't know if Shedeur is going to see the field. We have to let training camp play out. Remember, he's the 4th quarterback in the room. By that, I'm talking about they went and signed a free agent. They went and proactively traded for another veteran. They drafted another quarterback before him. Now, he can go out there and he can light it up. We've seen that happen before. Russell Wilson has won the job in Seattle over an incumbent quarterback and a big high-priced free agent in the late Travaris Jackson and Matt Flynn. Guess what? It could happen. It's just very rare that the 4th quarterback in the room wins out of the gates. It's going to be every day he has to show up there and be undeniable and outplay those other guys. I don't know when that happens or if that happens necessarily, especially if those other players are inspired by Shedeur's presence.
Yeah, Peter, I see it differently. I think it should be Shedeur from day one. When we had Mark Sanchez in New York as a rookie, he started from day one. Things worked out. We had a couple of years of really good success. But if I'm Cleveland, Joe Flacco is a great backup. He's going to be 40. I would have Dylan Gabriel compete with Shedeur. I'm assuming that Shedeur will beat him out. I think he has more ability. And by the end of the season, the Cleveland Browns, Christine, have to know what they have in Shedeur Sanders and Dylan Gabriel. Look, Kenny Pickett just hasn't worked out. He's been a little bit of a journeyman. Maybe you trade him at the end of training camp. But to me, job 1, 2, and 3 is you need to know what you have in Sanders and Dylan Gabriel. And I would play those guys right away, let them have a competition. And in my view, Shedeur has more ability, and I assume he'd be the guy.
Yeah, all eyes will be on Cleveland in that quarterback competition. Mike T, I know that you were here when we were watching Schrager get buckets. Were you surprised at all that he could do it like that?
Come on, Mike.
Well, someone who's a great punt returner myself, I really don't want to speak poorly of other analysts' ability or lack thereof.
We've seen it, yeah. Okay. I feel like Schrager might have a little leg up on you, Mike T. I'm not going to lie. Thank you. See, North is a mixed bag when it comes to quarterbacks. Ravens and Bengals are set. Browns and Steelers, not so much. Cleveland needs to replace the injured Deshaun Watson and has a bunch of quarterbacks in the mix, including Shedeur Sanders. Pittsburgh is waiting on Aaron Rodgers' decision and rolling with longtime backup Mason Rudolph. Steelers and Browns reporter Brooke Pryor and Daniel Oyefusi join us now on SportsCenter. Brooke, I'm going to start with you. What are the Steelers saying about what's missing without Aaron Rodgers being signed at this point?
Well, Christine, when we talked with Mike Tomlin at owners' meetings in April, he said that this spring was about teaching and learning, and all of that team building is something that really doesn't happen until training camp. But that's not what tight end Pat Freiermuth told me when I talked with him after Tuesday's practice. He said they're doing a lot of base install of this offense. He said that this spring, these 8 practices between OTAs and minicamp are important for this team to all get on the same page so that by the time they get to training camp in Latrobe, they can continue to hammer down those fundamentals and move forward and work out some of those details. And I asked offensive lineman Broderick Jones, who's moving back over to left tackle, if it was going to be a challenge, if he's, getting used to the cadence of Mason Rudolph and then might have to get used to another cadence with Aaron Rodgers if he joins the team late in the process. And Broderick said, no, I don't view it as a challenge. All of that's going to be up to Aaron Rodgers if he does indeed join the Steelers. If he comes in here with the right attitude and wants to work hard, they can all get on the same page and get up to speed.
All right, we'll see if he does that and when exactly he does that. One veteran who is at OTAs is Darius Slay. What is he saying after his first OTA practice of the offseason?
That's right. Slay arrived in Pittsburgh today for his first OTA practice, and he's coming off a Super Bowl win, and he said that being at OTAs was important. He's a 13-year vet, but he wanted to be around, show the guys his face. He said that this is when you start building a championship. This is where all the work starts. And he said, look, I know that it is a sacrifice to be here. Guys have families, guys have kids. They want to go be doing stuff, but this is a sacrifice that he's willing to make, and he wants to show others that he is going to make that sacrifice and that they can buy into what he's doing. And, he would know. He did just come off a Super Bowl parade, so he's putting in the work. He's there. It was even raining today in Pittsburgh, 55 degrees, real football weather here in the AFC North.
I'm sure you love that. Brooke, great to see you. Thank you.
We don't need May football weather anywhere. Daniel Oyefusi now at our Browns OTAs. And Daniel, look, this is a crowded quarterback room. This is going to be one of the talks, not only of OTAs minicamp, but at training camp. What did you observe from the Browns quarterbacks practicing today?
Yeah, today it was the vets, Joe Flacco and Kenny Pickett, who split the first team reps in practice, followed by the rookies Shedeur Sanders and Dillon Gabriel. But it was a jam-packed session. At one point, the rookie quarterbacks went on to one side of the field to get their practice reps in, while the veterans stayed on another. Afterward, Coach Kevin Stefanski said, don't read too much into the practice order reps because it can change from day to day. We also got a chance to speak to some of those veteran quarterbacks who said they're really embracing this packed room. Kenny Pickett said, the competition is more of a media headline. When we're in the building, we're friends, we're pushing each other. Joe Flacco, the 40-year-old elder statesman of the group, he made light of it all. He said, hey, I'm probably not far removed from being able to play against Deion Sanders, and now I'm getting to play against his son.
Yeah, look, have fun with it, but come competition time, be it OTAs, minicamp, training camp, those 4 guys and 5 when Deshaun Watson, whenever he gets back from injury, it won't be anytime soon, want to compete for that started OTAs today. And what a difference a year makes. Optimism running high, and that happens when you win 8 or more games than the year before. Make it to the conference title game and find your franchise quarterback. That man, Jayden Daniels, spoke today and was asked if last year's mantra, anybody, anywhere, anytime, still holds up this year. That response, new on SportsCenter.
I think that mantra still